Stop right there.
Our story begins 2,000 years ago when baby Jesus came into the world.
Yes, it does. That is exactly where this story starts. Hey, everybody, Film Cricket here. I've got another review for you. Easter time. Even though it says it starts where Jesus was born, which is not Easter, unless you look like the whole born again. Look, I know it's confusing. We'll get into it. This is a Film Cricket review of The King of Kings. I'm glad you're joining me today. Yeah, let's hit this one. So, King of Kings. It's rating pretty well right now. The score on Rotten Tomatoes, 65% fresh. What was that, 98% popcorn meter? Like before, I think that one's pretty fair. Seems that some of them are coming in pretty good right now. I went and saw it today, actually, day before Saturday, before Easter. Took the family, all of them, including the grandson, who actually was very engaged in it, right? Like I got a picture, I know, took a picture in the theater, but with no flash. And he's sitting there, he's just intently watching it. Got another one when Jesus is on the cross and he's just standing there, looking at this film, and he's not even 2. So if you're worried, will this keep your little ones engaged? I say it will. Go see it for that reason, if none other. A lot of big names, and I don't understand this phenomenon that's going on right now. It has been for a few years. We really want to shove big names into cartoons, and they all want to do it. I don't know if they're doing it for their kids, if they think it's fun, if it's just an easy paycheck, but we have them on this one. We got Pierce Brosnan, Oscar Isaac, Uma Thurman, Mark Hamill, who, by the way, look, I know a lot of you don't like Mark Hamill because some of the comments he's made in the past. He was a great Joker in the Batman animated series. The whole go force yourself thing about, if you support Trump and stuff, you can go that. Put that aside, go watch the movie regardless of him being in it. He's still Luke Skywalker, I guess. And like I said, he's a great Joker in the animated series. Anyways, Forrest Whitaker, Ben Kingsley, again, kind of playing a bad guy. So a lot of big names in this movie. And I don't want to make you think I'm giving away a lot of spoilers. I asked my kids, I said, do I need to put a spoiler warning on this review? And we kind of came up with no. Go read a Bible, right? Like, if you haven't learned all these stories already, then I'm probably not ruining anything for you. The story around the greatest story ever told maybe is going to be ruined a little bit. So if you don't want that, then I guess spoiler alert. Before you leave, though, before we get into the spoilers, I will say go watch this one in the movie theater. Support these type of movies. I recommend you stay, though, till the end. I'm going to have some other little tidbits for you on this film. So, what's it about? It's not just about, obviously, the Bible, right? It's not just about that. We've got Charles Dickens, who, many of you know, wrote Christmas Carol. And he starts this movie, him and his family, on like a stage. And his one little boy is just out of control. Thinks King Arthur's the coolest thing, playing backstage, interferes with the show of the telling of the Christmas Carol. And when they get home, they put the other 2 kids to bed, and Charles and his wife decide they're going to read this new story that Charles Dickens has written. And it's funny because, again, I'm not a big literary person. I go see movies. I don't review books, typically. I've read books. Yes, I know how to read. But I guess Charles Dickens really did write this Life of Our Lord book, which was a kind of like a children's version of the Bible, telling these Bible stories for his kids, and I guess for kids everywhere, to be able to understand the Bible a little better. And a lot of that comes through in this film, right? This isn't a direct, just reading of that story. But when they go home and they've got the little boy in Charles Dickens' study and they start reading the the story that Charles Dickens made, not really reading it, he's just reciting it, that's based off of this book that's based off of the Bible. So you kind of get that flair. Now, what I do like that they do in this movie, and this is kind of cool, you kind of see it in the previews, like the little boy, like you'll see him here on the boat. There he is on the boat, right? So he basically gets to, through the storytelling, travel into this whole world of what's going on in the past, and he gets to kind of live it. There's also little scenes here where you see the characters walking along the table, right? So they go back and forth with where are you? How is he engaging in it? He's walking there along with Jesus. There's a cool part where I guess the cat runs away, and the cat's its own character. We'll talk about the cats more here in a sec. But the cat runs away, and the dad goes and they're in the market where Jesus is, and the dad's like, where's the cat? And the boy's yelling for the cat, and then in the market you see the dad pick up the cat. No, excuse me. You see Jesus pick up the cat, and then when it kind of fades back into the real world, there's the dad holding the cat because he's outside and found the cat for the little boy. And him doing that's kind of a big deal because the cat's like this source of tension. It's one of those cats that just knows, it's in a movie, knows that it's not just a normal cat. It's a kid's movie, and it acts like a cat in a kid's movie. It has personality. It sticks its tongue out. It gets knighted at one point when the boy's still really into King Arthur. And it annoys the dad. By the end, the dad's, of course, putting it up on his desk. But the fact that he went and found the cat for his little boy is kind of his connecting. So what stories do we get out of the Bible? I will tell you, I'm a little upset. Personally, I really wanted to see them bring in the wedding at Cana story. First miracle done by Jesus, and they don't bring it in. Now, why don't they bring this story in? Well, one, they didn't consult me. Weird, right? The other reason I think is because they give the loaves and fishes story, which is basically the same thing, right? Like at the wedding, they are out of wine, and Jesus makes wine, and then out of water. And again, you should know this. And then at the loaves and fishes, he multiplies the food to feed all the people there. And so it kind of would be a double telling of similar story, and they are obviously pressed for time. I like the Cana story a little better because Jesus' mom gets in there and is like, get this done. Jesus is like, ain't my time. And then he does it anyways because I think his mom wants him to do it. You're going to do what his mom says. And I think that's really cool, and it humanizes Jesus. I think the reason, too, they left it out, personally, this is just a guess, is because they don't want, they're obviously telling the story to kids. They want Jesus to look 100%, Jesus, right? And if he's sitting there at the wedding going, hey, woman, it ain't my time, that might confuse the message a little bit. That, again, that's a theory, that's a guess. And when we don't want to confuse the message, when we're telling this story to kids, right, a lot of the terminology is changed. A lot of the phrases that you're used to hearing at church are changed, and they're modernized so kids can understand them. He doesn't say, into your hands I commend my spirit, right? He says it a little different. I don't remember exactly how it's said, but it's said more modern, and that happens a lot through it. And I chalk that up to, and you probably will too, chalk that up to, we want the kids to understand what's being said. We don't want there to be confusion. We're trying to teach kids about the Bible. We're trying to teach, during this Easter season. So we start off in the story of the Bible with Jesus being born. And it's weird because when they're on stage, they're giving the Christmas carol. When they come home and start telling the story of Jesus, they start with Jesus being born. So you're like, man, is this an Easter story? Is this a Christmas story? I don't know what's going on. But they move pretty quickly through Jesus' early year. There are some neat things that you don't usually see in these type of movies. You see the three wise men going to the king and being like, hey, we're looking for for this new king of the Jews. And the king's like, King Herod's like, nah, you found the king of the Jews. I'm right here. And they're like, oh, nope, we're not going to tell you about him. And so you get to see that. You don't usually see that in these type of movies. You get to see them in Egypt when they're living and Jesus is still young. You don't usually see that time in these movies. You get to see Jesus preaching at the temple, and the parents being like, his parents, Mary and Joseph, of course, being like, dude, we couldn't find you for 3 days. And he says, I was at my father's house. Where else did you think I'd be? You know? You get to see actually Jesus cast out demons. When he casts out the possession, they go into the possession goes into the pigs and runs over the cliff. You get to see Jesus tempted by the devil, where the devil tells him, look, if you're hungry, you can turn these stones into bread. And Jesus says, look, nope, one does not live on bread alone. The devil tells him how he can stay safe if he jumps off, and God will send angels. And Jesus says, it's not for me to test God. We're commanded not to test God. I mean, so all these things that you don't usually see, especially in kids' movies, kind of just darker subject matter you see. Right there, Jesus, you get to see him go into the temple and start flipping tables because he's mad that they're selling things and turning it into a marketplace. Interesting thing about that scene, I mentioned how I think they were trying to make him be, very Jesus-like, and that's probably the most angry he gets in the film. That's probably the most wrathful, I think, that you see out of him. Of course, not counting casting out demons. When he does the blind, when he heals the blind, gives sight back to the blind. My reading, when I read the Bible, what I've been taught is that he gets some dirt, some mud, spits in it, and puts that on the blind man's eyes. He doesn't do that in this. It's a minor point, and maybe in your reading of the Bible in your church, that's something you guys leave out. Maybe it's simply they wanted to leave it out for the kids because they didn't want kids shoving mud in each other's eyes. I don't know, but when you're sitting there watching, you're going, I'm not sure that's really how the Bible is made for general audiences. Okay, fine. So let's put that aside. Was it good? Yes, it was good. Should you go see it? Yes, I would recommend seeing this movie in the movie theater. Again, this is another one of those movies that I really want to support. I really think you should get out and support. I think it does good to see these type of movies in the theater, encourage them to be made. They're wholesome, they're good, they're for the kids. They're for you, frankly. Go learn more about the Bible. What are some of the more the negative things? I think the ending is a little rushed. They get to the crucifixion. First off, after I don't like that they basically dump Mary and Joseph. Joseph is kind of dumped, in general, a lot of stuff. But they also kind of dump Mary once Jesus, becomes of age. You don't really see her again until the crucifixion, and they don't really talk about her. She's just there. So I don't like that they dump Mary. I don't like some of the changes of the Bible story. I don't like that when they get to the crucifixion, he's crucified. Yeah, into your hands I commend my spirit. Said differently. And next thing you know, he's walking out of the tomb. Okay. And the movie's over. I mean, that's it. The movie's over. And I'm going, there's so much more. You took all that time at the beginning of his life. Here we are in the Easter season. There's so much more. You got disciples running to the tomb. You got Jesus walking from the tomb and people not recognizing him. You got him going back to the disciples and doubting Thomas. There's so much more that could have been explored, and they just end it. Okay, that's fine. Does it hurt? No. Would I have liked to have seen it? Yeah, probably, given the season we're in. But did that make it a bad movie? It did not. Now, I'm going to jump ahead here in my slides because there is something I do want to point out. By the way, no end of the credit scenes. When the credits start rolling, you're gonna get a timer at the bottom saying stand by for a special message. We're used to that in Angel Studio films, or you should be by now if you go to these movies. And then there are some really cute pictures that pop up, so those are worth looking at. A little different art style than what's in the movie. Oh, yeah, by the way, real quick, some of the disciples sound like they're from New Jersey or New York or something. I mean, the accents are crazy, and I'm going, that's not a disciple. But anyway, they there is a scene that you kind of see in the preview here, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to ruin the movie for you, but it's in the preview, so I'm gonna talk about it. So when Jesus walks on water, right? And then we have the disciple fall into the water. He goes underwater. Jesus pulls him out, says, "If you believe." Well, that's kind of recreated near the end once Jesus is crucified with the little boy. And I will tell you, even knowing it was coming in the previews, my daughters were tearing up. I even got a little choked up. It's actually really well done because if you're talking about Jesus saving us all and the boy's falling into the water, Jesus grabs him, rolls with him, hugs him close, rolls with him, and then throws him up as Jesus sinks into the water. I mean, there's something symbolic about that, right? And there's something very touching about that. And I would say maybe you're made of tougher stuff than me, but you're probably gonna get choked up on that one too if you're watching. So anyway, yeah, I want to take you to the next slide. So at the end it says stand by for a special message, and this is what you get. Okay. Pay it forward. I took a shot. It's not in the greatest, it's a little fuzzy, but I took a shot of the pay it forward QR code. If you scan that, you can share the tickets for someone else. When we went and saw the one about child trafficking, I actually did that. I took a picture of it. I shared 2 tickets. I purchased 2 tickets for someone else, and it just so happened that my daughter went on Angel Studios and claimed a couple tickets so she could see it because she couldn't afford it. Do that. Listen, if you've got the money, please donate to someone else. I also put the link up there for you if you just want to go directly to the website. But here's what's kind of cool. If you do that, in the movie, they say you get like 3 free gifts. I think one's a movie poster, one is a coloring book, and one is movie poster, coloring book, and a special scene. You get to download, I'm guessing, a scene that's not in the movie. So, hey, maybe it's the wedding at Cana. I don't know. But you get those 3 things, if I remember right. So it might entice you to do it. If you just want to give this to someone else, maybe I'll go on after I'm done making this video and do it myself, and I'll have a better idea what exactly comes to us. The other thing is, if you're not a member of Angel Studios, I think they call it the Angel Guild, on the streamer, on your TV, do that too. It's something cool. What they have, besides having good movies on their streamer, wholesome movies, when you're on that streamer, you get 2 free tickets, just straight up free tickets to any movie they release in the movie theater, right? So if you, like right now, you don't want to go to the movie and pay for this movie, but you're like, hey, I'm interested in Angel Studios and I'm not getting paid. This is not a paid advertisement, nothing like it. I'm just telling you my experience. If you go to Angel Studios and you sign up for their streamer, every movie that they release in the theater, you get 2 free tickets. Go see King of Kings with them, right? That's cool. So these are all options you have. Either way, if you get the tickets through taking advantage of the pay it forward, you take some of the ones that somebody put forward and you take them. If you do it because you're on Angel Studios, if you just go to the movie theater and you buy tickets and take the family this Easter season, please do. Please do. Please go see this movie. Again, it's cute. It's well done. It's an animated movie. Gives you an overview of the Bible. Quick little Bible stories. It's good. They do a good job. So go see The King of Kings, a story told by Charles Dickens by Angel Studios. And I appreciate you. If you've stayed this long, please go into my channel. Like, subscribe. As I always say, share. I really would love this shared so that more people can see it. I'm actually going to get some promotional material out there, start spreading it around. If you see my little film cricket around, then great. Stick those stickers wherever you find them, and let people know about this. So otherwise, I do thank you for your time. I thank you for watching the video this long. And hey, see you all at the movies. Bye.
This is 24-hour Gribble Talk, serving the entire Tri-House area.
Dale is a terrible radio personality.
All
Hey, we're
right.
listening to him. He must be doing something right.